How my dog's pet insurance saved me tens of thousands of dollars. And for those who don't know, I own a dog, and let me tell you the story how I came to be such an absolute advocate for when you have a pet, you should have pet insurance. Ella Gurfinkel, Senior Loan Officer at Fairway Independent Mortgage, Team Ella. Today's topic is not really a mortgage topic now, is it? But it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. And frankly, if you own an animal, if you own a pet, you would know that it's more than a pet. It's a family member. It's a fur baby. They're part of our life. And as such, they deserve the best care that they can have, right? Because Americans spend the most money on their children and pets. And yes, I happen to be one of them. But that's not what the story is about. My fur baby, Bentley. The pet insurance has literally saved us tens of thousands of dollars over the 8+ years that we've had our fur baby. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm also going to tell you with a passion actually as to why, if you don't have your pet insured medically, you absolutely should. Because we're talking tens of thousands of dollars potentially should any medical issue arise for your pet. And as a person, I can't stand people who will just put their pet down because they can't afford the medical care for them. And that is what this conversation is about. It's really more about the human level, human feelings for our fur babies. Enter Bentley, stage left. So, long story of how Bentley came to be part of my family. My older daughter has been gnawing at me, literally gnawing at me, for I'd say probably a year to 2 years that she really wanted a dog. Sounds very familiar, right? Because I think half of the people I talk to, that's how I ended up with a fur baby in their life, is because of their kids. So my daughter has been bugging the hell out of me, seriously, about buying a dog. We struck a deal. Nothing came without a tag. The price tag in her case was pulling her grades up, and a few other things. And truth be known, the only part of the contract that got held up was really the grades. But to me at the time, her pulling the grades up was hella important, so I caved in. Enter stage right, my husband. The dog will live in our household over his dead body was essentially the statement. Again, for those who are in the similar situations, I am sure you've heard that. I'm sure you lived through that. Because that's, again, the most common story out there that I hear. Over my dead body becomes the pet's favorite person in their life. Now, on a serious note, one of the conditions of me agreeing to buy a dog was that my daughter, she was to research pet insurance before I ever agreed to buy a dog. And why is that? Well, because frankly, I've seen too many people pay thousands of dollars for their pet's medical care. And knowing how expensive it can be, and frankly, it's just about as expensive, if not more even in some cases, than human. I didn't feel it would be something that I could do financially. It could place such a burden, besides the upkeep, besides the pet food, besides everything else that had to do with the dog. It was the medical care and the medical bills that were scaring me out of my wits. She researched the pet insurance. She came to me with the final options. And we settled on one. I'm not trying to advocate or promote a specific pet insurance. That is not the goal here. But there were some interesting things that we learned in the process. Bentley, our fur baby, got really sick when we barely had him for 2 months. Yes, we got him from a breeder. Yes, we got him when he was 8 weeks old. Yes, he came with a clean bill of health, the whole 9 yards. We spent about 2 weeks in and out of a vet clinic. At that time, they were telling us that it would be a miracle that he actually survives. And if he did survive, he will never have a full lifespan. Mind you, that was over 8 years ago. The whole family's in tears. We bought the pet insurance as soon as we got Benny. The bills for his infection stacked up. The ultrasound alone was over $1,000. But here is what I discovered. With pet insurance, specifically the one that we have, and I understand a lot of the other pet insurance providers have the same policies. Unlike for humans, when our deductible and our fiscal year starts over every year, with a pet, the deductible is per issue. So once Benny was diagnosed with essentially one dead kidney, anything that was kidney related for the rest of his life now, and as long as, of course, I stay with the same pet insurance, falls under that same deductible that we paid once. Yes, I picked the $500 deductible to save on the monthly payments. That's no different than human health insurance. I paid that $500 And now 90% of all the medical care related to his kidney is covered by the insurance. So all I pay now, let's say I need another ultrasound, which we did a couple of years ago. Ultrasound is $1,000. All I pay is $100 out of pocket. I wish it were that simple. Back in the day, our vet clinic used to actually be able to bill the insurance, just like a human insurance. We just paid the difference. Now, unfortunately, we have to pay out of pocket, send in for reimbursement. But typically, within less than a week, the money hits my account for the full reimbursement of the 90% of the bill. 8 years of having a fur baby with one working kidney, where my husband is doing subcutaneous, meaning under his skin, essentially IVs. We refer to it as his doggy dialysis, 3 times a week. He's on daily meds. All of that falls under that one and the same deductible that we paid 8 years ago. Dogs apparently not only have kidney problems, as we have discovered, dogs pull their backs. Actually, now that happened 3 times over. And the first time we frankly couldn't figure out, panic, major panic. Like, okay, we already have the kidney problem. Oh my God, we're dragging him off to the vet immediately. Only to find out that, thank God, not a kidney. The dog pulled a muscle in his back. The funny part to that one is that he ended up being prescribed the same medicine that my husband has been prescribed for his back pulled muscle. But again, once we paid that deductible for the pulled muscle, every subsequent issue of the same kind has effectively been covered by the pet insurance. And that's really the whole point of the story. We love our fur babies. And to be honest, nothing breaks my heart more than hearing about people who just couldn't afford the medical care for their pet, and therefore they had to put them down. There's so much love in that fur ball of joy for us, but then there's also so much love from us towards him. And so many friends and so many clients that I've talked to over the years who have suffered medical bills as a result of their pets' injuries or as a result of their pets' illnesses that could have been avoided. Would they have known or should they have opted in for having that pet medical insurance? It's unreal to me. Not only is it a money-saving tool, it's also a way of us humans showing love for those that we're responsible for. Granted, I would think twice about having pet insurance on a guinea pig. And if you've had a personal conversation with me and you told me that you got a pet, my first question would be, did you get pet insurance? Money-saving tips come in different shapes and sizes. This could save you thousands, literally, if not tens of thousands. Because again, the figures I hear about pet surgeries and pet illness are in the thousands of dollars a hit usually. Tell me about your fur baby. Tell me about what your experience has been with pet insurance. And I'll gladly respond to you and have a conversation. But in the meantime, if you do happen to have a pet and don't have insurance for them, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's not that expensive, but it can save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And if that's something I can do for you and your pet, just imagine what I can do for you and your home buying process.